Gambia general elections spring surprise. Property developer dislodges Yaya Jammeh's 22-year grip on power. Nigeria and Morocco put pen to paper on closer bilateral relations. Kudos for the anti-corruption crusade as Northern Traditional Rulers Council concludes meeting. Nominee fails to appear for Senate screening for a second time. A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us for the network news on NTA. My name is Phil Obano. Reports from Gambia say that country's president of 22 years, Yaya Jammeh, will be replaced by a property developer, Adama Barrow, after losing the general election. Electoral Commission Chief Aliu Noma Nje said Jammeh, who came to power in a coup in 1994, has agreed to accept defeat. Before announcing the final result, Nje appealed for calm as the country entered uncharted waters. The Gambia has not had a smooth power transfer since independence in 1965. Jammeh's defeat has been greeted with astonishment in the Gambia, where most people expected him to win. He has served 4 terms as president. Governor Abdullahi Umaru Ganduje of Kano State says far-reaching measures have been taken to ensure that Falgore Forest in the state is not hijacked by fleeing Boko Haram insurgents to wreak havoc on the northeast following their dislodgement by the military. The governor stated this while briefing the media after an audience with President Muhammadu Buhari on the security situation. Adam Sambu has the details.
Without doubt, the worst of the Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast has been significantly degraded by the nation's military, and the displaced persons are now willing to return home, pick up their lives and move forward. There are, however, fears that the fleeing insurgents may find solace in Falgore Forest of Kano State for possible attack on the northwestern states of Nigeria. And this formed the basis of a closed-door meeting between President Muhammadu Buhari and the Kano State Governor Umar Ganduje.
The security agencies are working very hard, and a lot of arrest has been made. Investigation is going on. So we will not allow them to dominate Kano and to make it as a launching pad. Certainly, we expect if they are dismantled from the northern part of this country, they will find another location. And Kano, being a cosmopolitan city, is an attractive place for such elements to come in. So everything is under control. Mr. President is happy with the situation, and that is what he's looking for.
Governor Ganduje also briefed the president on the forthcoming joint economic summit between Lagos and Kano states.
2 cities are mega cities. Lagos is the largest city, commercial city in Nigeria, and Kano is the largest commercial city in the northern part of this country, and even to some parts of West African countries. So we are both cosmopolitan, and you know our developmental challenges are the same in terms of providing social amenities to a large population, security, and issue of urbanization, control development. And certainly there is a need to look inwards now. Since the oil money is going down, we have to take advantage, comparative advantage that we are having. And we will invite Mr. President to attend that summit.
The governor, who chairs the APC campaign council for the rerun elections in Rivers State, told newsmen that hope is bright for the governing party.
We are consulting, we are coordinating, and this time around, like in Ondo State, we must ensure free and fair election. And in that part of the country, having free and fair election is not normal. And we must make it normal this time around.
The legislative rerun elections in Rivers State comes up on the 10th of December. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
With the ongoing massive reconstruction and rehabilitation of structures and displaced persons in the northeast, appreciating the gallantry of the Nigerian soldier is key to further boosting the morale of the troops. This was the position of Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, as presented by the Chief of Civil Military Affairs at a news conference in Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
Investigation reveals that soldiers in most developed countries enjoy a series of goodwill from their citizens in appreciation of their selfless service to the nation. It is in view of this that the Nigerian Armed Forces introduced a scheme that seeks to reorient Nigerians to say thank you to soldiers in recognition of their efforts in safeguarding Nigeria and Nigerians.
While the Nigerian Army conceived this initiative is to show the soldiers of the Nigerian Army that the Nigerian people are standing with them and they are supporting and appreciating their efforts and sacrifice for the nation.
Partners of the scheme say the first phase of the program involves the production and distribution of free branded bottled water to soldiers with an inscription, "Thank you."
This call goes to the private sector, who we think are going to be our #1 partners. They need to actually come and help. We have mentioned time without number since we started this initiative. That in civilized climes, you see that the soldier enjoys discounts in shops, in malls. The civilians are waiting for the opportunity to always give back to the soldiers.
Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Nasarawa state government has ordered full investigation into the recent killing of 4 miners, including a Chinese national, who were ambushed by unknown gunmen at a mining site in Nasarawa State, Egon Local Council. Joshua Jito reports that henceforth, security agencies will be deployed to major mining sites in the state to protect lives and property of miners.
4 miners, 3 whom were Nigerians, including a policeman and 1 Chinese national, were shot dead by unknown gunmen while on their way from a mining site in Alogani in Nasarawa Igon local government area of Nasarawa State. Governor Umaru Tankal Mukura, accompanied by all heads of security agencies in the state, visited the area to sympathize with the Chinese expatriates, assuring them of adequate security of their lives and property. He condemned the ugly incident, especially now that government is looking inward to diversify the economy through the solid mineral sector, and wondered why some miscreant will scare investors from exploring the abundant solid mineral deposits in the state. Governor Al-Mukura said the state government will work closely with security agencies and other relevant stakeholders to safeguard all mining sites in the state. Meanwhile, a stakeholders meeting with all traditional rulers and leaders of ethnic groups from the Western Senatorial districts, including all heads of security agencies, was held over the recent cases of killings and kidnappings, especially in Nasarawa and Toto. In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
An international conference on the growing threat to cultural heritage around the world is underway in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed, who is representing President Muhammadu Buhari, is leading the Nigerian delegation to the conference. Anthony Forsin reports.
Of the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, the participants are drawn from all over the world, with experts and leaders assembled to forge a common cooperation to deal with the issue. Speaker after speaker, they all gave a gloomy picture of how bad the situation is, condemning in its entirety how culprits disguise with religion to destroy people's history. Making a case for an endowment fund to cater for the sector, Mohammed Khalifa Al-Mubarak told the conference that what is unfolding is a turning point in protecting cultural heritage. Representing President Muhammadu Buhari at the conference, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed is in the forefront of discussions.
This conference is actually meant to do 2 important things. One, set up a fund, international fund, that will help to preserve our cultural heritage in times of war. And secondly, to agree at a network of actions and agreements on what to do.
Bringing the issue closer home, Nigeria, he said, is not spared.
The time to do so is now. But more important is that there must be awareness. You see, many people do not understand the values.
This international conference to protect cultural heritage is an initiative of Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, and the French President François Hollande. In Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
The Deputy Chief Imam of Abuja National Mosque, Ustaz Ibrahim Makari, has enjoined Muslims to show love for one another and to tolerate adherents of other religions, which he said is the way to achieve peace, unity and progress of any nation. This was in his sermon at today's Jumat prayers. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports that President Muhammadu Buhari and visiting King Mohammed of Morocco were among the worshippers.
And progress of any nation is said to be predicated on love for one another, irrespective of religion, tribe, and social affiliation. Research has revealed that both Islam and Christianity preach peace and love for one another. Quran chapter 3 verse 159 dwells emphatically on unity and peace among people by acting with compassion and mercy. While 2 John chapter 1 verse 3 says, and I quote, "Grace, mercy, and peace will be with us from God in truth and love." The Imam's Jumat sermon today, which is in line with the teachings of both religions, advised Nigerians to detach themselves from a life of hate and wickedness for the growth of the country. He said, no country can develop without peace and love for one another, and enjoined every Nigerian to contribute to the development of the country.
We advise our fellow Nigerians to love one another, to live with one another in peace, because those are the values, those are the teachings of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whenever you mention the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you are mentioning love inclusively, you are mentioning tolerance, you are mentioning peaceful coexistence, and all these values that you can't claim loving the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam without showing them practically.
In Abuja, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Still to come, presidential aide clarifies no fixed date yet for budget presentation to the National Assembly, and northern traditional rulers give nod to the anti-corruption war. Stay tuned.
From what we have seen, we have the capacity which we can rapidly develop or feed in ourselves. If we don't import rice, we stop importing corn and other grains, Nigeria will have plenty of money to invest into developing industries, especially manufacturing, textiles and so on, and develop iron and steel, and complement the infrastructure development. So really, the opportunities are virtually limitless, and we are very, very aware of this, and we are prepared to exploit it to the fullest.
Hello, dear. You've got the first signs of a sore throat.
Yes, and I'm afraid it could be signs of a sore throat.
Don't you worry. Just act immediately, but not with non-medicated throat sweets. Take an expert product. Take Strepsils. Look at what it does to sore throat germs compared to a throat sweet. Strepsils not only stops the germs from multiplying, it even kills them.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, sore throat. Stop a sore throat early. Take Strepsils.
For quick and easy banking on your mobile, like checking your balance or transferring money, use our mobile banking services today. To find out more, visit us online at ecobank.com. Move on up with EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
The Future Assured project and its components Get Involved, initiated by the wife of the President, Her Excellency Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, is not relenting in championing the cause of Nigerian women and children. Its provision of free medical screening, educational support, and the fight against malnutrition, especially in the Northeast, has indeed informed international recognition, partnerships, and awards.
We are very grateful and appreciative for your wonderful gesture you have accorded to us.
With Future Assured, Nigerian women and children are assured of a bright future.
Future is assured when we join hands to promote the health of our women and children. Get involved.
Get involved and support the Future Assured initiative. Future Assured, promoting and protecting the lives of Nigerian women and children.
People think it's the ever-changing weather during Harmattan that makes them sick. Actually, it's the germs. Dettol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs, including flu.
Does your antiseptic liquid kill the germs that cause flu, diarrhea, typhoid? Dettol does. Dettol provides 10 times more protection versus leading competition. So why take a risk with your loved ones?
Experience the unique culture. Enjoy the exceptional hospitality. See the enchanting spectacle. Feel the friendly warmth. Join the celebration at Abuja Carnival Reloaded. It's a celebration of culture, a world-class event, the best cultural party ever. It's a carnival of change. Abuja Carnival 2016. Theme: the creative industry, pivot to economic growth. Destination: Abuja Capital City. Date: December 3rd to 6th, 2016.
Abuja Carnival, a truly national carnival.
A king, his throne, his subjects. A chronicle of centuries of conquest, strength, struggle, and victory. A thriving culture. The Nigerian Television Authority presents Benin, Might, Mystery, and Myth. Benin Kingdom, showing on the network service of the NTA.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC, in collaboration with the Office of the Wife of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, invites you to the program Nigerian Women Against Corruption.
The program, which is designed to increase women participation in the fight against corruption in Nigeria, comes up on Wednesday, 7th of December 2016 at the International Conference Center, Abuja. Time, 9 a.m. prompt.
It is believed that Nigerian women will be adequately galvanized by this engagement to take full ownership of the war against corruption.
For further inquiries, please contact Wanyima Okianu on 0803 330 8837.
Be part of this epoch-making event.
It's still NTA Network News, and thanks for still being there. Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly Matters, Senator Ita Enan, says contrary to speculations, no date has been fixed for the 2017 budget presentation by the President. Senator Enan explained to Senate correspondents that certain formalities have to be concluded before the budget is presented.
By practice and convention, the President will request a date. The Senate President and the Speaker will confer. They will agree, and the result will be that the House of Representatives and the Senate will pass a concurrent resolution agreeing to receive the President in a joint session on the particular state date that will be stated in that resolution. Some of the ones we received some days ago, which have transmitted to the President, are the University of Abuja Amendment Bill, the Environmental Health Officers Registration Council Bill, the National Judicial Institute Amendment Bill, the Endangered Species Control Bill, then the Quantity Surveyors Registration Bill, Small and Medium Scale Industries Development Agency Bill, Universities Charges Commission, Utilities Charges Commission Amendment Bill, and the Chartered Institute of Chartered Brokers Amendment Bill.
The Northern Traditional Rulers Council, under the leadership of Sultan Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, has commended the Buhari administration's fight against corruption and commitment to ending insurgency in the country. This formed part of the communique at the end of the council's meeting in Kaduna. Abdullah Garba Berni Kudu has the report.
As custodians of culture and tradition, the Northern traditional rulers meet periodically to brainstorm on issues of peace and national unity as it affect their people. Reviewing the security situation, the traditional rulers commended government's commitment to ensure peace reigns in Nigeria. It, however, called for decisive steps to address issues of cattle rustling and killings associated with farmers and herdsmen clashes and other socially induced security challenges. They pledged their support to end these problems.
Noted the success recorded by the military in the fight against insurgency in the northeast and the relocation of some of the internally displaced persons, IDPs, back to their homes. Council, however, noted the difficulties the remaining IDPs are encountering daily in the camps and the sporadic attacks by the remnants of the insurgents. Council therefore calls on the military to sustain the pressure on the insurgents. The Victim Support Fund is also called upon to do the needful in ameliorating the difficulties the IDPs are encountering.
The Traditional Rulers Council meeting was attended by 3 emirs from each of the 19 northern states and the FCT. Abdullahi Garba Kudu, NTA News.
Pioneer Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Nuhu Ribadu, has spoken of the need for lawyers to strike a balance between defending their clients and upholding the ethics of the profession, which makes them partners in anti-corruption fight. It was at the 9th Joe Gatzama annual lecture with the theme Corruption and the Nation's Economy, Lawyers as Change Agents. Femi Okewo reports.
Because the topic, the role of lawyers in the fight against corruption, is an issue now in the public domain, the guest lecturer, Nuhu Ribadu, found no difficulty in using names and real-life experiences to buttress his position that lawyers need to do more if Nigeria is to succeed in the fight against corruption. Nuhu Ribadu, himself a lawyer, pointed out the central role lawyers play either as advisors, public prosecutors, defense counsel, or judicial officers in the fight against corruption.
It is our country. We are hurting, we are putting a knife into the heart of our own country. We think that we are getting something small. We are doing a hell lot of damage.
While bemoaning some of their actions, the former EFCC chairman paid glowing tributes to the contributions of practitioners like Gani Fawemi, Kanu Agabi, Femi Falana, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, Rotimi Jacobs, and Tayo Yetibo, all of whom, he said, helped EFCC gain public confidence at its inception. Acting Chief Justice of Nigeria and other goodwill messages, along with the discussants of the paper, asked that the fight against corruption be done according to the rule of law, but also called on lawyers who are contracted to defend suspects to think of the survival of Nigeria in the face of what they described as the downright looting of the nation's treasury.
There is need for us to come together as members of the foremost professional organization to see what we can do about that.
In Abuja, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
8 new agreements in critical economic sectors have been signed between Nigeria and Morocco towards enhancing their bilateral relations. This is the outcome of the high-level talks between President Muhammadu Buhari and the visiting King of Morocco, Mohammed VI. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports.
This is the first visit by King Mohammed VI of Morocco to Nigeria since his coronation in 1999, and the reception accorded him by President Muhammadu Buhari was warm and befitting. Apart from the 21-gun salute in his honor, King Mohammed of Morocco also inspected a ceremonial guard mounted by a detachment of the Presidential Guards Brigade. President Muhammadu Buhari and his guests thereafter exchanged pleasantries with their respective government delegations before proceeding to the National Mosque to join other Muslims for the Friday congregational prayers. On return to the presidential villa later in the evening, the two leaders held talks behind closed doors before joining other members of their country's delegations, where significant presentations were made on the economic potentials of the two countries. Consequently, 8 new agreements were signed between Nigeria and Morocco towards deepening bilateral relations. Prominent amongst them include the one between OCP of Morocco and Dangote Group of Nigeria towards boosting the production of fertilizers in the country.
The combined capacity of 5 million tons by Dangote and OCPN will transform the agri sector in Nigeria. The potential to stop rural-urban migration is very high. It will generate employment, and agri will become the largest contributor to GDP compared to oil.
And it has the potential of really making Nigeria one of the biggest fertilizer producers, especially customized fertilizers in Africa, and with the capacity to actually export fertilizers. So that's really a very, very important initiative. We're on the path to really diversifying the economy.
So with signing of this project, we see production starting somewhere around middle of January, and it will go full swing till the rainy season. So for sure, we will start delivering fertilizer to different farmers even before the rainy season kicks in.
Other agreements signed include the exemption of visas for diplomatic and official service passports, avoidance of double taxation, as well as the prevention of fiscal evasion with respect to taxes and income. There were also bilateral air services agreement between Nigeria and Morocco, agreement on marine fisheries cooperation, as well as the one for sustainable energy development in Nigeria. More agreements are expected to be signed on Saturday as the visit by King Mohammed VI of Morocco enters day 3. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Some stories in the education sector now. For the Nigerian university system to have a fair deal and compete in global rankings, there is need for the council to be funded by the National Universities Commission. This is the position of Emeritus Professor Ayo Banjo at the maiden international lecture series titled Global Rankings in the Nigerian Higher Education System. Franca Uzoma Olwa has details.
Present-day knowledge-driven world, global rankings have become the trend in the university system in spite of the shortcomings and global criticisms that surround them. Ranking scheme is a way of identifying the so-called world-class and top universities to provide information to students and guardians about such institutions.
The topic, as part of renewed efforts to reinvigorate and reposition the Nigerian university system.
Beginning lecture on global rankings is very apt at a time when one ranking institution across the world have discovered or disfavored universities of the developed world, including Nigeria, I understand, while favoring the so-called developing world.
But iconic Emeritus Professor Ayo Banjo says ranking is sometimes problematic and can be commercialized.
The proposed framework for setting up the Nigerian Universities Ranking Council has the potential of fostering transparency, consistency, reliability, continuous improvement, and quality assurance.
To some participants, the ranking game has become necessary to enable Nigeria address numerous challenges in the university system.
We must caution against a lazy approach, and that is to take everything as is. So we begin to dance to another man's music while our own instruments are lying idle.
Nigerian universities are poor. Before we get to the stage of ranking them, let us mitigate the level of poverty.
The International Lecture Series is organized by the NUC in collaboration with the Nigerian Academy of Letters. Franca Uzoma Olwa, NTA News.
And the federal government has expressed another commitment to ensuring conducive academic activities in tertiary institutions. Executive Secretary of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, Dr. Abdullahi Bichi Bata, stated this in Ijebu-Ode. Lekon Agbonde has the story.
This academic office complex at the Tai Sholari University of Education, Ijebu-Ode, began in 2012. It is one of the strategies to provide adequate facilities for institutions of higher learning in the country by the federal government. The Executive Secretary of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, Dr. Abdullahi Bafa, said the federal government will not discriminate against any state or federal institution, adding that every institution will benefit from the scheme to promote academic excellence in the country.
We at TED Fund, we are monitoring all our projects, all beneficiary institutions, to ensure that they are complying with our guidelines, they are completing the project in good time, and you will be seeing us every now and then going to commission these projects.
To set up a laboratory which we call 21st century classrooms, where you can simulate all of these things I've said for the future, 2030, 2050, and be able to prepare teachers for that world.
He called on the management of the higher institutions to fashion out different strategies to take university education to enviable level in the country. From Ijebu-Ode, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
And it's time now to link up with Ademola in our Lagos Center as he tells us about trendy reports in that zone.
Well, good evening and welcome to Lagos. The Nigerian police have launched an interagency security arrangement to effectively secure the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway ahead of the Yuletide. Musa Tolia reports that the AIG Zone 2, Kayode Aderanti, was at the site of reconstruction of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway to monitor the security details deployed to the axis.
The Assistant Inspector General of Police, Zone 2, Kayode Aderanti, said the interagency security arrangement is born out of the need to protect travelers and motorists on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway who sometimes fall victim to hoodlum attack in traffic. He stated that the effort is also to ensure that construction workers on site can work overnight without fear of attack by miscreants.
We are going to provide the backbone, the security, and ensure that we deploy in such a powerful way that everybody driving through this axis will know that police is there for them.
The interagency collaboration will also provide security for officers of the Federal Road Safety Corps deployed to the highway to check road crashes on the axis.
With this new arrangement with the Nigerian police, we assure you of our continuous stay on the road.
With the directive of Inspector General of Police, it will help us, it will speed up the completion of this project.
The AIG Zone 2 later paid a courtesy call on the management of the two construction companies handling the reconstruction of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway.
What we are after is the security and the free flow of traffic. Yes. The security, the police is ready to give you all the necessary support that you need.
We have contractors working for us, but we would be very interested to hear, to work with you.
AIG Zone 2, Aderanti said, several diversions and alternative routes on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway will be effectively policed to reassure motorists of their safety on the highway. In Lagos,
The Central Bank of Nigeria has challenged banks' internal auditors to adopt new internal control technologies to check the high risk involved in today's technologically driven banking sector. Abdullahi Mohammed has details on Business News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us on Business News. Nigerian banking system must maintain a sophisticated internal control system. This is expected to provide adequate checks and balances to match the current global financial system, where a click of a button can authorize transaction in millions of dollars. Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele said this while speaking to bank internal auditors through his special assistant on financial market, Emmanuel Ukeje. He said this global financial trend demands that the banking systems continue to reevaluate and upgrade its auditing techniques, as well as be proactive in identifying and addressing emerging risks.
The auditors, given the changing time, have a very critical role to play, and he has challenged the auditors that they must be part of the changing system, and to a very large extent also play their role to ensure that they are not caught unawares. And most importantly is the fact that he also highlighted the new type of crimes. We already have the cybercrime, and which urged them that they should be ahead of the curve, so save the banks and their customers from losing money.
That's Business News. Thanks for being part of it. The news continues shortly.
You're still watching NTA Network News live from Lagos Network Center. We now take a break for some messages, after which the news continues. Stay with us.
All over Nigeria are starting their day with Milo. And now they're enjoying it from their own special Milo Cup. Does your champ have one? Buy the Milo Champ Pack, which contains 2 packs of Milo 500 grams and a free Milo Cup your champ can write their names on. Offer valid while stock lasts. Milo, the energy food drink of future champions.
This must be one of Mother Nature's greatest gifts. But there's something else it gives us. When we see such beauty, we want to share it with those we love. That's what LG wants you to see. Just what we see now, through our technology. LG OLED TV.
Brother, there's an endless road to rediscover. The sky comes falling down. There's nothing in this world I won't do. What if I'm far from home? Oh, brother, I will hear you call. There's nothing in this world I won't do.
Success. I always wanted to make something of myself. Even when I was a child. With So Clean, my mother made sure that my clothes were clean and bright. With a 30% concentrated formula, washing is faster, brighter, and cleaner. Like millions of families, mine also trust So Clean. With my clothes and with my career. Because when all eyes are on you, you have to look the part. So Clean. It's your time to shine.
So Clean. Now with a new look and stain magnet technology for even better stain removal.
Introducing the new 5 Alive Pulpy Orange.
Where is the pulp? The pulp. Where is the pulp? Where is the pulp?
Taste the goodness of real orange pulp in every gulp.
Where is the pulp?
The new 5 Alive Pulpy Orange. Now in your neighborhood.
It's good to know you are still there. The Senate Committee on Power has frowned at the inability of the president's nominee for the position of chairman of the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission to appear before it. National Assembly correspondent Waziri Zeyanu reports that it is not the first time the nominee is failing to appear for screening.
For the second time in 1 month, President Buhari's nominee for the position of the chairman of the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, Professor Akintunde Akiwande, did not present himself for Senate screening. At the second screening session convened by the Einaya Abaribe-led Senate Committee on Power, the United States-based professor of engineering's absence did not go down well with the committee members. Meanwhile, Nigerians in diaspora have called for an institutional framework that will help citizens residents outside the country to contribute towards nation building back home. They stated this when the Senate Committee on Diaspora visited them on oversight functions in parts of the world.
I believe that most Nigerians here really want to go back home, relocating or trying to support this care.
How and who can we get easy access to interact directly with this committee?
Until we address the issue of the dichotomy that has to do with the issue of security within the healthcare industry in Nigeria, Nigeria healthcare will not move forward.
Chairman of the Senate Committee on Diaspora, Rose Oko, said the Diaspora Commission bill is meant to take care of all contentious issues.
That Diaspora Commission bill, which was passed in the last assembly but not assented to, is currently in the Senate for concurrence. And it's gone through the first reading already. It's going through the various processes for passage also by the Senate.
From the National Assembly, Waziri Zayan, NTA News.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) says it is committed to implementing the local content laws to enhance value addition in the oil and gas industry. The group managing director of the NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Baru, said this at the 2016 Oil Industry Achievement Awards and dinner organized by the Petroleum Technology Association of Nigeria in Lagos with the theme Local Content Compliance in an Extended Low Oil Price Environment. Dr. Baru stressed that the key local content initiatives include promotion of local manufacturing of steel plates and pipes, as well as development of engineering design expertise among Nigerian engineers. The General Managing Director was honored with a Distinguished Leadership Award by the Petroleum Technology Association of Nigeria. And Benin is where we go next, and Ogochukwuka is standing by with reports from that zone.
Hello, Phil. Thanks for joining us. The governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, says the state is yet to benefit from the activities of the subsidiary of the NNPC operating in the state. Governor Obaseki gave this information when members of the Senate Committee on Petroleum Upstream visited him. Goodluck Enaini reports.
On the activities of petroleum companies in the state, Governor Obaseki observed that they have systematically avoided doing business with the states, thereby denying the people the desired benefits. He said over the years, government has put in place an enabling environment for them to operate, and that it will be fair for the companies to reciprocate the gesture positively. He appealed to the committee to prevail on the companies as a matter of urgency.
So that, we change this mode of behavior, and avert the kind of crisis we have in some of our producing states.
Chairman of the committee, Senator Omotayo Alaswadura, who thanked the governor for bringing this to their notice, said they were in the state on oversight of federal government institutions in the state.
Knowing prophetically, we know that we will build on the legacy, good legacy left by your predecessor in office.
The governor also received the new commander for Brigade Nigerian Army, Brigadier General Ibrahim Garba. In Benin, I am Goodluck Enaini, NTA News.
The Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas, wants officers and ratings of the Central Naval Command not to relent in their constitutional mandates of ensuring that the Nigerian maritime environment is free of crimes. He made a call while flagging off this year's sea inspection, codenamed Exercise Eagle. Steve Lonaingokolo reports.
Of Naval Staff, who was represented at the annual sea inspection flag-off by the Chief of Training and Operations, Nigerian Navy Headquarters. Rear Admiral Adeni Oshinowo said the exercise involves internal water operations covering over 1,000 creeks of Delta and Bayelsa states in the protection of the country's waterways.
The objectives of the exercise, among others, are to assess the readiness and operational state of the Nigerian Navy fleet, as well as the capability of the operational commands.
Flag officer commanding the Central Naval Command, Rear Admiral Mohammed Garba, said the 5 days exercise, codenamed Eagle Eye, is strategic as it promotes maritime activities in the territorial waters.
The exercise will be conducted covering a coastline of 220 nautical miles and extending seawards up to 80 nautical miles.
The exercise witnessed the operational movement of ships and area views of the Niger Delta creeks. For the Nigerian naval ship Warri, Steve Lonaingokolo, NTA News.
That's it from here. The news continues in Abuja.
Many thanks, Ogochukwuka in Benin. The Federal Road Safety Corps says implementation of speed limiting device, public enlightenment, enhanced patrol operations, as well as improved emergency response in facilities are key components that contributed to achieving 50% reduction in road traffic crashes and 25% fatality rate. Olajide Bello reports that this was at the FROC end-of-year management strategies session, which held in Abuja.
The Federal Road Safety Corps Management and Strategy session was an avenue to evaluate the Corps' stewardship to the nation and provide ways to minimize road traffic crashes in the country. Representative of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Olukule Bangboshe, reiterated the federal government's commitment to continue to provide adequate facilities and logistics to enable the Corps carry out its mandate.
This review cannot be complete without you finding solutions to the challenges in the coming year, as well as consolidating and improving on gains already made.
We in the National Assembly and under my watchdog, I am assuring the Commission that we are doing all we could in terms of legislative input.
Corps Marshal Boboye Oyeyemi described the year as challenging, but with the Corps' resilience and the use of cutting-edge technologies, it has been able to achieve its goals optimally.
As of September this year, we have achieved 77.19% of the expectation in RTC reduction, while 83.33% was achieved in respect of fatality rate. We will not only keep the momentum, but further accelerate achievement of goals.
He called for attitudinal change among road users and strict adherence to traffic rules and regulations, adding that the Corps is embarking on intensive patrol during the Christmas season. In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, says it will continue to collaborate with organizations to educate and inform Nigerians on necessary steps to safeguard the health of the people. This was when the Executive Director News, Shola Atere, who represented the Director General, met with the Civil Society for Cancer Eradication. Adebola Brooksland Sunday reports.
From the World Health Organization indicates that about 76 million people die from cancer-related cases worldwide every year, out of which 4 million people prematurely die between the ages of 30 and 65. As deadly as it is, this group says it can be prevented through lifestyle modification. It is for this reason that the group is seeking collaboration with the NTA as a key partner towards achieving the aim.
In Africa today, Nigeria is the most cancer-burden country, with a record of about 102,000 deaths annually, about 250,000 new cases. We know very well that if we are to make any headway anytime, any day, the NTA remains a strategic key partner.
But you need to embark on aggressive enlightenment to be able to help people, tackle this deadly ailment, managing it, and maybe if it can be avoided too, what people should be able to do.
Experts believe that 30% of cancer deaths could be prevented by avoiding risk factors such as tobacco, alcohol, and air pollution. In Abuja, Adebola Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. Coming ahead, national policy on diaspora up for validation. Diaspora voting and other issues in focus. We will be back.
Nigeria joins the rest of the world in going digital. This means Nigeria is moving from analog terrestrial TV broadcasting to digital. Now, digital broadcasting gives you clearer pictures, crystal clear sound, and a chance for more channels and more shows to watch. Digital TV is a whole new experience for you and a rich harvest of digital development for the nation. Come aboard, Nigeria going digital. Coming to Abuja soon. The production, distribution, and sale of counterfeit and fake drugs is a corrupt practice and a crime against humanity. This has informed several measures and strategies to combat fake drugs, including introduction of anti-counterfeiting cutting-edge technologies to detect fake drugs on the spot. These technologies are being deployed to all the states across the Federation, as well as the internally displaced people scams. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, and his team are committed to this fight.
The federal government of Nigeria, in line with its anti-corruption agenda and posture, will fight a total war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products
in order to ensure that Nigerians remain healthy and well.
Lend your support and join NAFDAC to rid the country of fake drugs and unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Hear the call of change. Stand up, Nigeria. Change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. Go to so let the change begin from within. Look at you, Ogerola. Change begins with you and me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with.
And now the last lap of the news tonight. The establishment of the Diaspora Commission, Diaspora Data Bank and Diaspora Voting Rights, as well as remittances, are issues as stakeholders converge on Abuja to validate the national policy on diaspora matters. Gabriel Odo reports that the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Matters is facilitating the validation exercise.
The national policy on diaspora matters has been on for 16 years, but lacks the institutional framework and capacity for implementation. It becomes therefore expedient that the multi-stakeholders validation will ensure its workability. But then, let's hear from Abike Dabri Erewa.
It's about Nigerians abroad and Nigerians at home working together to achieve true greatness. If other countries have done it, what is stopping us? So I hope we achieve that purpose.
The principal objective of the policy is to effectively leverage on the resources and technological knowledge of Nigerians in the diaspora.
Once we're able to tackle the challenges of infrastructure, of power, for example, of the economy in a manner that will be able to absorb some of the investment and potentials and capacities of the diaspora, that will make the country more attractive to them.
With over $21 billion in remittances to the Nigerian economy from the diaspora in 2015 and an expected rise in 2016, so sense must be addressed.
One of the things I recommend is visa on arrival. That's what we should be doing in this country. The issue of remitting money, both back and away from the country, it's critical.
And now for a bit of sports. Nigeria battle ready for Cameroon in Saturday's Africa Women's Nations Cup final as Tiger Woods shows glimpses of old form upon his return to competitive golf. Ayodeji Makinde has more on a sports desk.
In a repeat of the 2014 edition in Namibia, Nigeria's Super Falcons will take on host Cameroon in Saturday's Africa Women's Cup of Nations final in Yaoundé. The indomitable Lionesses will be desperate to break the jinx of not winning the biennial tournament since its inception in 1991, while the Falcons are poised to continue their dominance on the continent as they bid to retain the trophy they won in 2014, beating Cameroon 2-0. Coach Florence Omagbemi, who backs her team to silence Cameroon, says the Falcons would not be distracted until the target is achieved. Minister of Youth and Sports Development Solomon Dalun has re-emphasized the need for the public sector to contribute to the growth of the sporting sector, stressing that government alone cannot do it. Dalun spoke in Abuja Thursday when he received members of Nigerian Olympic Fund led by its coordinator, Jide Fashikun.
I believe that if we must succeed, the only way out is to create an enabling environment in sports development where investors will be attracted to put in their money and develop sports.
We're looking at